I've known Adelaide as always being a place that's a test bed for experimenting with sort of radical stuff. Adelaide and its 6 degrees of separation or 2 degrees in business is something that said to me it's probably the best place in Australia to launch something like this. And this time round I realised that something was changing. It seems that now the younger entrepreneurs are starting to have more of a voice. I would say listen to that voice. There's a lot of collaboration that's happening informally. Maybe that could somewhat be mimicked or emulated, or at least backed somehow with the government saying, okay, well, there seems to be a collaboration happening between these key people, these young people that are doing fantastic things around the city. So how do we be proactive and seek them out rather than them always coming to us?
Timing really had to do with the changes to the planning system and the uplift in heights. We had looked at developing the site prior to that, and it really wasn't that attractive. This part of the city we feel is up and coming. It's in a quadrant now that with the hospital moving over and the convention centre upgrade, we're really linked to all those things. Plus we're part of the existing business area of the city, and we're right near the education precinct as well. The planning process, we went through the new case management system. We found that to be quite good, to be perfectly honest. One of the things that I'd like to sit down and talk to them about for this particular project is updating Rosina Street and what this project in this area is actually going to mean for the streets around this area.
George had the vision of, look, we're going to open a few more things in here if we get the right people doing the right things. And I always knew that it was going to develop into, a bit of a busier strip. But I almost liked the romance of, went down this dodgy alley, found a nice restaurant and a cool bar down the road, and that's originally when we, that's what we went in to try and create. But knowing that it had always, there was every building in the street was vacant, so surely other people were going to come and join in. I think the biggest concentration really is on getting more people into the city, staying in the city, living in the city. It's on. You can see it sort of growing, but there's still, we're probably lucky because we've got a good following. But there's still nights when there's no one, and even a Wednesday, Thursday night, there's like 10 people in all the bars, and you've still got to staff up as though there's 100 people coming. And I think that's the key. It's just, I don't know how you do it, but it's just getting people to stay here, live here and enjoy doing stuff here.
We present year-round programs of particularly visual arts and music in our space, and they operate across the year. Well, we feel that this government really has demonstrated a strong commitment, particularly to music, and because we present a music program here, that's something which has been really heartening to see. But we would definitely like to see a continued commitment to the arts in South Australia, particularly within the small to medium sector, where we fall, because there's a lot of organisations that do very important work to support both local artists and the industry more generally across the year that fall within that category. And we also feel that it's really important for the ongoing vibrancy of Adelaide and South Australia, that small to medium sector is continued to be supported.
Convenient location, so we run sessions at White Square and Vic Square, considering most of corporates are based in the CBD. Yeah, in truth, the clients, the members we actually have love Light Square. I'm getting mixed responses for Vic Square, to be transparent. Light Square, the actual members, to the point where some of our, on a side note, members have looked into the history of the statue. The Colonel, and I know this is, but the Colonel, we've got some history around the Colonel being buried there, so there's a bit of affinity between the members and Light Square at the moment.
Because of the processes of getting things approved, before it used to be quite hard to go put yourself in the mind space of saying this is going to be a long journey. Do we have the energy to do it? Now the journey's not as long. Yes, Government Council, they were really good. They very proactive, try to help. Obviously, we've got rules and regulations, but to keep with all them, it was very good. As Adelaide, as population grows and we keep on growing, and you can see some buildings have come online. So, well, I like to be part of that. We should be encouraging businesses to obviously activate these old buildings to be on North Terrace. A lot bigger teams to try and build a new building, and that's costs money. So it's just the on cost of all that. So I need a hand to get these buildings up and running.
For me, it was about convenience. The time that I've been here, I've not cooked. Just the residents within this block, I've seen an increase since I've moved here, and with all of the up and coming apartment blocks as well, you can see that they're selling quite well, quite quickly, and the city itself has become more populated in terms of just people being out and about on a weekday. I mean, it used to be a ghost town, and the only time you'd see people was at Fringe. It's made a really nice change. We need to do more about the tram system. I think that if we are able to extend that into different spaces, I love using the tram. I personally don't catch the train. I don't really use buses. I think if the tram is something that is a focus going forward, that would be fantastic, because it just makes the commute and the hopping off and on within the city area as well really easy.
I think it's very important to deliver such an iconic project down by the riverbank as well. Obviously, sort of the catalyst of things starting to move through here. This definitely for the state has been quite a significant project. Combination of stage 1 and stage 2, really will be a pretty impressive spectacle at the end. I've been here since November 2011, so I've really seen this area grow. When I came here, they were finishing off the Regattas Bistro, and that's been a real catalyst of getting people moving through this area. I think that's the right steps, make it big and bold. And I really think that concentrated attack, so not a staggered approach and slow development, I think quite a lot of development in one go is the way to go, and really create a hive of activity and businesses that feed off of each other.